Hello, everyone. Welcome to what episode are we on already? 27, episode 27 of the What the Shape podcast, where we will be discussing and breaking down and just generally gushing about Critical Role Campaign 2, episode 117. It still feels crazy saying 117. That is a ridiculous amount of episodes, and who knows how many more there are to come. But as always, joining me today is Alana. Fantastic, as always. We did not have Lynn tonight, unfortunately, but hopefully we will have her back for next week because she was a joy to have last week.
Yes.
But with all that being said, Alana and I were talking a lot about some of the stuff we want to talk about tonight, and we were just like, I can't wait to get started. So let's waste no more time at all and just jump right into it. So we have the unfortunate and very depressing realization that Molly doesn't remember who Molly is. Maybe.
That's what he says.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
But is it actually true? And that's one of the big things we want to talk about first.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing that I sort of opened up with was that I think he does still remember Molly, but those memories of Molly and those relationships that he has with the Mighty Nine are going to cause too many complications with what Lucien wants to accomplish. And so for him, it's easier for him to just write it off as him not remembering them rather than acknowledging that he knows them and goes down that path of, fixing those loose ends, I guess.
Yeah, I can kind of see it both ways of him telling the truth, but also, as a fan, me wanting him to have the memories. But I think it's I can see Matt just saying straight up, okay, well, I'm taking this PC, turning it into an NPC. So for safety or for ease, I'm just going to make him forget all the memories. He's not going to have it. Because he was talking about how, when that vessel finally expired, I was able to reform. I was able to take control again, which kind of makes it sound as if that part of him, that fraction of him that was Molly, did actually go. It did actually disappear. Whether it's because I think they've described before in this world the way the soul acts when it dies. They've talked about it. I remember they talked about it a lot when Percy died, maybe for the second time, and they're talking about the resurrection ritual, how a soul needs to be willing, and it's the soul is floating away from the material plane and it needs to be drawn back. So I don't know, maybe if that fragment of Lucien, that fragment that is Molly, has actually separated from the whole of Lucien. I don't want that to be the case. I want him to remember stuff, and I think it'd be way cooler if he remembered stuff. But I could see that as being the choice that Matt's made in order for this to be an actual NPC. It's not going to be the appearance and the voice is going to be off-putting for the Mighty Nine, but it's easy to just say, okay, that's it. There's no actual connection. But
so then I have a question then.
Yes.
Let's say the party kills Lucien. Whatever happens, they end up having to kill Lucien. Would they be able to resurrect Molly and not Lucien?
See, I don't know. That's a cool thought.
Yeah.
Because the soul has to be willing. But if Lucien is the prime soul and Molly was just a fragment of that soul.
Yeah.
What does that even look like for a resurrection? Obviously,
right, how can you be a fragment of a soul?
But that's the thing, Kree, or it's a fragment of his personality. It might not even be a fragment of his soul. But Kree obviously resurrected Lucien, but we don't know really, because the way he's talking about it, of what Vess did to him, it sounded like his soul shattered. He kept using that term of it spreading apart. Which is, what if there are other NPCs wandering around who are no, that doesn't make any sense. No, that doesn't make any sense. There's only one body. But it's I want to imagine, It's like, yeah, it's like Voldemort. He's Horcruxes. They're spread around into different items. But I want to imagine he does have the memories, and I want to imagine he is either trying to suppress it, or even more exciting, going to use it against the Mighty Nine.
Ooh.
um,
How do you think he would
uh,
use it against the Mighty Nine?
I, oh, like I guess maybe playing to their weaknesses.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and this is what I was talking to you before. He said something, and I felt like it was a total like innocuous thing, but to me, I was like making the connections. But he was talking about, so I think maybe what Vess was doing, like getting involved in dangerous things, and he was talking to Caleb, and he was looking at Caleb. And he said, "Oh, well, when you play with fire." Um,
Mm,
and like Caleb, shut down! Like you watch Liam's reaction in that, and he
yeah.
looks really upset. And
Ooh.
in my head, I was just like, "Ooh, ooh, is that like a bit of Molly memory coming through?" And you know,
Interesting.
that's tinfoil. That's a bit like too much, I think. But
I don't know. That's
uh,
that's that's like a pretty particular thing to
yeah,
say.
yeah, and but that's also like a saying, like, oh, when you play with fire, you get burnt. But I like to think he was saying that specifically to Caleb to make
Yeah.
him like freak out. Uh,
Hmm.
it's great. That's a tinfoil theory. Straight at the start of the episode, there's my tinfoil. But that's what I want to. That's would be cool. I think if like he does have the memories, if he does try to use them against him, they were rolling a lot of insight checks, and I think they rolled pretty well, but not necessarily on the ones where it was like, is he Molly or does he have memories? It was more on like,
Yeah.
is he telling the truth about these certain facts?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think it'd be really cool
Yeah.
if yeah,
But I don't. I can see if he does remember Molly, it's
yeah,
definitely in the realm of possibility that he would use um, the Mighty Nine's emotions that they have
mm,
towards Molly to his
yeah,
advantage by making them do something they otherwise might not.
yeah,
Um, Especially since he seems very. He's doing the classic, like, oh, you don't have to follow us, but if you want to
yeah,
follow us,
yeah,
like it seems like he really wants the party to see what he has going on.
yeah,
Um, Now, hold on,
yeah.
I just
Because
got another thought.
why would he like?
Right.
He's so confident that he can do all this, and they are clearly capable. Why is he so? Unless he's not evil, but I don't know if that's
I
him. But like,
don't.
why would he just be like this adventuring party, which is clearly capable because Vess hired them? Why not just get rid of them, get them out of the way?
Right. That's why I feel like he's not evil. At least not like chaotic evil. Like he might be like lawful evil for thinking like alignment wise. But if he was like
Yeah,
evil, I feel like he would have just gotten rid of the party just for having a past relationship with him and also having business with Vesta Ragna. Like I feel like he would just be like, "Oh, you were working with her? All right, we'll just get rid of you as well." And if
yeah,
he is this powerful, well, he might not be as powerful as we thought because he even like admitted in this episode that going up against someone as powerful as Vess, it was best to get the surprise on her, meaning that he is probably sure
yes,
that he wouldn't
yeah,
have been able to
true.
take her on at full
That's
strength.
true. Yeah,
Um,
and he might have even been they might have been a bit spent having gone into
yeah,
like this room having just fought. So maybe he was just trying to avoid conflict.
that's true. Yeah, yeah,
But still,
yeah.
it's,
Is he
yeah.
maybe? I don't know. Is he maybe hoping that along this way, like he might be able to like gain control of them, kind of like he has like semi control over
Ooh,
his people?
that's
Like
interesting.
maybe it's like a
And
proximity thing. I don't know.
we haven't seen he hasn't been alone with the Mighty Nine yet. He's still with the Tomb Takers.
Yeah.
That's like my not my fear, but like if he ever gets in like a one-on-one situation, which I think we've talked about this before, but I don't think it will happen. But if you ever go into a one-on-one situation, if like a bit of Molly would come out, or if he would use a bit of
Oh.
uh, information to try and I don't know. I feel like oh, wait, did when Yasha gave him the clover, Did that make them make a check, or was I imagining that?
I don't think so.
Because I feel like if there was an aspect of Molly, if there was any form of recognition, I would have seen Matt make Yasha make like an insight check or something when she handed him
Yeah.
the clover, like a flash of recognition or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just him taking it and holding on to it. I don't know.
Ah,
Not
it's
not
so
to
hard.
presume how Matt runs his game, but like
Right.
that's a very Matt move, I think, to like have something like that happen.
Because
Oh
as
god.
as Bo mentioned, Molly and Lucian, they're a charlatan.
Yes.
So these, pleasantries that he's offering the
Mm,
party, you know,
actor.
is yeah, exactly. It's so
Yeah.
hard to see Lucian as genuine with everything that he's saying.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's truth with maybe a little bit of like spice and maybe lies mixed in there, but like it's
Gentleman.
probably like 80% truth
Yeah.
just to keep the party on his side.
He's like the gentleman in like he's pleasant and he's respectful and polite, but he could take your head off.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the ones that you got to worry about because it's like Oban. Oban was similar as
Yeah.
well. Oban was a lot more chaotic, but
Mm-hmm.
it's that same kind of suave, enigmatic. Hey, like it's cool,
Yeah.
but back off. Um,
Bringing up the soul shattering thing again.
yes.
Would it, I just thought of this. Wouldn't it be interesting if the ritual that was used to bring back Lucian and the reason that they're all connected is because during this ritual, pieces of Molly's soul may have gone into the rest of the Tomb Takers, which is why Molly is able to,
Ooh, that's
have
cool.
access to them. Maybe.
I like that. That's a cool theory. Yeah, that's super spooky though. That he
Yeah.
has control that, which I think we got close to. We were talking about how like when he was sending a message to Jester, it was coming through with Kree's voice, and we're talking about how he was like maybe
Mm-hmm.
piggybacking their spells.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that as a theory. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. But
Mm-hmm.
man, we didn't get nearly as many answers as I'd hoped.
No, if anything, we got
Obviously,
more questions.
yeah, it's like lost. Um, but they didn't bring up because they obviously brought up the fact that they knew about Vess and how she was the nonagon, which I thought was hilarious. The concept that
Oh
she did
yeah.
the tattoos herself.
Yeah. The
It kind of
wannabe one.
makes her seem a lot more ignorant than she
Mm.
always
Yeah.
presented as, which is kind of nice. I like seeing those really highfalutin, high intelligence people that think they know everything kind of brought down a peg.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But they didn't ask anything about the cognosum or
Yeah,
the
I know. Those were like the big
other
things
one.
that they thought Molly was connected to, and they didn't
But
talk about the floating city thing.
yeah,
They
and he
hinted
talked
at
about
another plane, and then Molly
yes,
kind of teased that idea as well, but it wasn't
and
enough like concrete evidence.
he offered information about someone above him, about a greater power above him.
Yeah.
So is that a god? Is that the floating city? Is the floating city a god? Is it something separate to the floating city?
And or because he
It
said
gave
he said
him
each of my eyes
the
was granted
eyes
upon me by
given
like the nine or whatever.
9.
And
Yeah,
then
and
and
then they
then
made
there's
the
the
connection
whole
to the betrayer
then
gods.
there's the whole that there's nine betrayer gods.
Yeah, I
Is
know.
Molly is the Nonagon what's gonna usher in the second calamity? Is that what this is? Because of the divine gate, the betrayer gods can't like influence this plane, so they have to use Molly by channeling all of their different powers through him.
We need Kiralee here right now because what if Ruidus was the weapon that the betrayer gods was making? What if its ability is to create an avatar that can
Oh
take the
my
power of all the
god.
9 gods? It's red like his tattoos.
Oh my god. We're only 20
What if-
minutes into
what
this What the Sheet episode.
the city needs to float up to the moon and
They have to go to the moon. There is going to be a
They
moon
go to the
arc
moon.
this campaign. Oh my god.
oh my god, I wasn't a mooner before, but I'm becoming a bit of.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
This... oh god. Anyways, but I do want to talk about the that 4-leaf clover moment again, just because that was really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Since Yasha probably knew Molly the best out of the 9, and just seeing her, she seemed more, because she didn't seem like super distraught in that moment. Maybe more so like just like a sad acceptance, maybe. Maybe a little bit of like hope, maybe I can show this 4-leaf clover and trigger some kind of a memory, sort of deal.
Which is what I thought was gonna happen, sort of
yeah.
thing. So it's interesting that it didn't. But yeah, no, that was sad. Man, but I love Yasha. She's such a good character.
No one in the party thought to talk to Yasha.
Afterwards,
or to have like a sidebar with her about all this.
I think they're just so busy.
I know.
There's so much stuff going on. We'll get to it in a bit, but we only just got Jester asking Ford how he is, and it's been like 3 episodes. Yeah. It's his ordeal. So
when Jester was like, Ford, how are you? I was like, oh yeah, Avantika came back. Like I completely, like, so much has happened in the past couple episodes.
And where did this episode end? Did this episode end in the mansion, or did it end somewhere else?
Were traveling because it ended shortly after the fight with the worm.
Yeah, okay. Because I was going to say, because I could see maybe some nights, because Matt's asking them a lot more now, when they're in the tower, like, what do you want to do for the night? He's not just getting them to sleep. Yeah. So I could see there being a moment where, like, they talk to Yasha, or even, like, Bo talks to Yasha.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see there being a lot of more personal downtime in the tower, because it takes away the threat of everything that's threatening them. Right, they can actually talk about stuff. But we're not getting that next week. We'll have to wait a bit for that.
I don't know about you, but whenever like they're in the tower or the tower is brought up, I just feel so like cozy and safe. Like I'm like, yes, they're in the tower again.
Yeah,
everything's fine. There's cats everywhere.
The tower feels very safe. Except for what happened in campaign 1 with the tower. Not the tower, the mansion. That didn't feel safe. That's like a nightmare of my one safe place. Oh god.
Yep, not anymore.
But oh man, no. So here's what I want to talk about as well.
Yes.
And another thing, although I don't know if Molly would know that, but he talked about like the possibilities of what could be done, and the fact that if he comes into this power, or if he gets what he wants, he would then, that conversation of like, they said, oh, do you plan on just being a man or something? And he's like, oh, a bit of both. Or like, do you plan on being a public figure? And he's like, oh, a bit of both.
Yeah.
Which sounds really ascension-y. It sounds very much like he's going to come into a great deal of power. But he was talking about the concept of like, because Caleb asked him about time travel, like, do you want to make the past the present or something like that? And he's like, well, there's endless possibilities for this sort of thing, which is, I don't like that. Oh. We're getting Caleb away from the time travel. Like, don't give him more. It's too dangerous.
Do you think? Do you think this is kind of going to like tinfoil hat theory? But like, what if? With Lucien's powers, like if he ascends or just gains enough power where he's able to do some kind of like a time travel thing, and he's able to entice Caleb into like helping him with this stuff, in return helping Caleb do his time travel shenanigans or whatever. What if that's what like brings in like the second calamity, right? Like these like 2 different timelines like smashing together terribly, and like the betrayer gods from the past are the ones that break through into into this one. So it's like some
Infinity
weird
War.
like time
It's
paradox.
Yeah, it's Infinity War. Thanos from the
Yeah,
past is going to come
yeah.
to the present, and
Ooh,
oh my goodness.
yes.
Um, I'm sorry, I'm not even reading chat, but I'm seeing there's like some
I
really
know.
good
I'm like,
conversation.
there's so much. There's so much.
Um, oh, and I want to point out something too because uh, I was thinking that that big, I can't say glowing. I was going to say blowing orb. A big glowing blue or crystal was a battery, but
Yeah.
Matt said it's a threshold crest, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
And I
Wait, what does
want to
that mean? I
shout
think I
out.
missed the.
I want to shout out Joseph Ingram. I don't know if you're in the live chat, but you commented on our What the Sheet episode 26 last week on YouTube because I've read the comments. Joseph Ingram wrote, Crackpot Theory. In Campaign 1, Garmelie Artigan was very interested in getting a piece of a threshold crest from Singhorn. The crest was necessary to return Singhorn to the prime material plane. What if something similar happened to Aor with the with the volatile magics overloading the other crest, causing pieces of the city to fall while the main section was left between dimensions, i.e. the astral sea?
Oh
And
my
what if the stones
god.
are necessary to repair the damaged crest in order to give Aor an anchor back to the prime material plane? I'm gonna give Joseph a gold star for that one because that feels pretty
That
damn on point
that
with
is
what's happened.
that sounds like exactly what is happening.
Yeah. So I read that comment last week. I was like, oh, that's a really cool theory. And then Matt said Threshold Crest was like, oh my
Oh
god.
god. So
He's
wait,
gone
so
and done it.
what exactly is a threshold crest?
So Singhorn, which is the elven city in Taldore, had them all around their city walls, and they used it to teleport the entire city to the Feywild. So it's a way of marking a large structure like a city's location, the prime material plane, and another plane. So
Gotcha.
presumably, if these alpha sites, the A1, A2, A3, A4, whatever, have uh, crests or these threshold crests, as the city's falling, if they're just falling off,
Yeah.
they need to be recollected because perhaps he wants to teleport Aor back to or get the soul of the city back. I don't know.
I know. And then, like, what happened to the city in the astral sea that made it all weird
Yeah,
and all that stuff? Like,
yeah.
was there
What,
some like
what,
the nonagon, this whole like nonagon thing? What did that? The cognosum, the somnovan, whatever this higher power is, did it like
still like
like
the hive mind aspect of it. Like initially, the nine eyes made me think of like an elder not behemoth, an elder beholder or something.
yeah
But that's an aberration, which is like an alien. But it doesn't really suit their deal having a big old city with a hive mind. So I was thinking like an elder beholder, but I don't know. I want them to go back to Geladon's lair and check out that thing that's in the
oh
wall. What if
what
that's a
a
threshold
threshold
crest?
crest? Yeah, I was just thinking that would ooh
Man. Yeah, a beholder is essentially a nonagon. It's like a ball with 9 things coming off it.
yeah
9 plus, 8
yeah
plus. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
oh
I did freak out for a second because we were talking about the betrayer gods, but in my head I was like, I don't see Vecna getting on board with that sort of thing. He's kind of like he wants to be by himself,
yeah
but the eye on the hand is very very Vecna-y.
yeah yeah
No.
oh
Mindflayer had a the beholder canon. That's the comments, by the way. That's not me theorizing.
hey, I mean, you never know.
I do just want to point out Garth McMurray's comment there, which I think needs to be shared. The Nonagon gets his powers from the Illuminati.
Oh yeah, that's
So
very it's very
stupid.
Molly. That's the Molly.
It made me laugh like 5 minutes ago, so I wanted to share it.
uh
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that conversation was amazing and frustrating and
and so many odds, just
yeah.
overwhelming. And because did we already mention how like we had forgotten that this conversation was even happening before the
Yeah,
episode even
yeah.
started? Like I had forgotten that this is
I
what
thought
the
that was
episode was
really
starting with.
the yeah, the dungeon aspect of it, and then
Yeah.
it started. I was like, oh no, they're right there. Like Matt was recapping. I'm like, that's right. They're literally standing in front of him. He's spoken to them. They're going to have a conversation. Um. Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super stressful.
Zerial in chat says, "Do you get the sense that the Nine really don't give a shit now? They know that Lucien isn't Molly. Like they just want to go home instead." I I feel like most, if not all of them, aren't buying into the fact that Lucien is saying that he doesn't remember them, and I feel like they're also very interested to see what Lucien is hoping to accomplish.
I think because they had that shared vision, even if they're not in it for Molly anymore, they're interested enough to know what's going on, and also I think to explore Aeol, because there's that promise of all the magical artifacts, but also I mean they're the Mighty Nine. Like if they think there's something bad's going to happen, they're going to probably try and stop it. So I think while they don't trust Lucian, they've said they don't know if what he's doing is bad, but I think they want to find out if it's bad and needs to be stopped. And also I think just as players, they know that this is Matt's put the story in front of them. They're good players. They're going to follow the story that their DM's given them. Yeah, I don't see them as a collective going, all right, well, we tried, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
And then Connor Brown also brings up an interesting question. Lucien said that there was a previous Nonagon that disappeared a long time ago. What if that person was Halas? Because we had speculated a while ago that Halas may have been like an Aeorian mage or whatever. So wouldn't it be interesting if this city, Aeor, did have to be teleported to the Astral Sea so that it could come in contact with whatever this higher power is that the Nonagon is dedicated to, but Halas fucked up and the city broke, and then Halas had to go into hiding in his little happy fun ball. And now this new Nonagon has to pick up the pieces from where Halas left off, because the city did teleport, but it like fucked up somehow, and now they have to get it back. I don't know. This is more everything from this point on. Everything is a tinfoil hat theory. Anything goes.
But Aeor itself was very like well, they were kind of anti-religion. They were anti-gods.
True. That's true.
So I don't see there being like this kind of cult figure, like a Nonagon in that society. Maybe? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. But that's cool if Halas comes back again. I get why Yusa did it, but like destroying Halas's body was like a real god moment for me.
Yeah. That may end up the whole Halas thing. Like if he doesn't come back up again, that's going to be another thing in the campaign wrap up for Talks Machina. That's going to be like, so what was the deal with Halas?
Yeah.
What was all that? Like Halas could have come back if you didn't give him to Yusa, but Yusa knew what he was all about, so he decided to just destroy it for good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And the thing too, like they joked about this episode where they're like, oh, let's message Essek, let's message these people. Someone joked like, oh, let's just call the Bright Queen. The Bright Queen is like pre-Divergence. Like she is from before the Calamity. She might have information on this.
Yeah. She might, yeah.
Like but I guess they don't want to just call her up and be like, hey. But oh boy. But speaking of,
Essek! We have Essek.
We have an Essek! Oh,
Probably
man.
coming in next episode, hopefully.
I've missed Essek. I get that he's a war criminal, and I get that he's contentious in the fandom.
Yeah, I acknowledge all of the issues that many critters have for him, but
and they are valid. He is a terrible person.
He is.
I still like him as a character.
Yes.
He's still interesting.
There's a difference between, like hating a character because of the things he's done and recognizing that the things he's done are terrible and still liking him as a character.
Yeah.
Because he's a cool character.
He's a very cool character, and the way they interact with him is cool, and he's just interesting. So yeah, I'm excited for Essex to be back.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long. It's been since, I mean, it feels like longer because it was before the break since we've had Essex.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like episode 100. No, it was 99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, man, it's been a while.
So I mean, yeah, even without the break, still that's like 18 episodes. It's still a decent chunk of time.
Yeah, boy. So yeah, that's exciting that he's there. He could have.
But it just makes the whole this whole northern arc of Aoran stuff even more crazy with all of these different players converging into one place.
It feels so much more kind of like, this is where it's happening. This is this is important now, guys.
This is the Chroma Conclave sort of thing.
But,
it won't be some climactic thing. It'll just be this gradual converging of different plot points.
But yeah, so we got them messaging Essek. And as FMA pointed out, Caleb wanted to contact Astrid and Airwolf. Oh, he was thinking about contacting Astrid and Airwolf, which I'm very glad they didn't. I think that would have been a dreadful idea, personally. It would have been fun, but I think that would have gone poorly. I think Caleb was hoping that maybe like he could count on them for assistance, but I don't see any situation where they don't just immediately tell Trent everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Aodwolf would, but I don't know if Astrid would, considering how they parted the last time they saw each other.
Yeah, but we don't know if like there's some control Trent has over them.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like.
But then
I feel like.
Oh no, go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, I was wondering if maybe like the Mighty Nine could have an out with Essek being there in terms of being responsible for Vess's death. Not that they're responsible for it, but they were responsible for her while she was alive. Maybe they could. I was thinking, maybe they could just be like, the Dynasty killed Vess.
Oh,
like, that would be bad.
And just spark the war again.
Yeah, start another war.
Oh my god.
I was like, yeah, they could say that. Wait, no, they can't. That's a terrible idea.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with the whole Vess situation. That's still something that's like, all right, we'll shelf it for now.
That's a future problem.
That's a future problem. That's a future us problem.
And it's the type of problem that's just going to come up in conversation, apparently, because them sitting around the dinner table, talking about how
that was amazing.
Dead, and then Dagon's just like, and
Wait
you can see it's so good rewatching that scene because they're talking about it. And you see Matt listening, like DM Matt listening, and they bring it up, and you see him transform into Dagon. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was very funny. So, yeah, they're just like, whoops.
They could technically still bring her back. However, I feel like if they do, she's just gonna kill him or try to.
Yeah, they know too much. They're too involved. Yeah, I think she would try to kill them. Or she would be like, peace, and then like the rest of the assembly against them, or like to lie. She would lie. It would be bad for the Mighty Nine. I think it's better for them with her dead.
Yeah, as weird as that is.
Yeah. I think they could easily play it off as an accident, or she was murdered by this group. It's more a matter of whether or not they can say that convincingly or tell the truth without any magic intervention. Yeah. It's going to be tricky.
But I want them, if they catch up with Molly again, I hope they're able to get some like alone time with him away from the others. But I want them to specifically ask like what his abilities are. Like what is he actually able to do as this Nonagon? Because these glowing red eyes, his ability to like see things and possess others for a certain time is wild.
Yeah.
Like what is granting him this? But speaking of super cool glowing eyes and powers, we can transition
Ooh,
to our fan art section of this podcast, where we
yay.
will just look at Alana's pick. Um,
Oh,
super cool. Is this okay? We're just
yeah.
gonna transition to it. We're bringing back fan art. Here we go.
Woo.
Bum, 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 bum. We have this
Transitioning? Yeah, okay.
super cool piece.
Yes.
It almost
So,
looks like real. Like this is like a cosplay or something.
yeah,
Because
it
that's
looks
what I
like a
thought
photo.
first. I was like, wait, is this real or is this like painted? I can't quite tell.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought it was really cool. And I saw a lot of similar kind of art, like, oh, not a ton, but I saw a bunch of different art that was kind of similar to this one. But I just thought this one, as you say, because it looks so real,
yeah,
um, and just the
the
eyes.
eyes.
Oh,
That's like almost exactly how I imagined it too when Matt was
yeah,
describing it. Just like dark
yeah,
silhouettes. That's all I can see, and then just these glowing eyes. Oh,
yeah. I thought it was really cool.
and it's we kind of talked a little bit about it last week too when this particular scene happened, but it was such like an almost chilling contrast. Like Matt described that scene, Molly brutally murdering
Mm,
this person with the eyes flashing, and then they go away, and then he
yeah,
looks to the party with almost like a smile and sort of nonchalant attitude of, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you so early. Like, sorry you
yeah.
had to see this terrible thing I just did."
There was also like a moment this episode where they were asking about this group, saying like, "Well, what about these people?" And he said, "Oh, they just got here first."
Yeah.
And Caduceus was like, "Well, can't say we've not done something similar in the past." I thought that was interesting coming from Caduceus because yeah, it's not untrue, but I feel like these people are archaeologists or like
Yeah.
they're not like the tomb takers. They're not necessarily an adventuring party. I feel like these are like scholars or like
Right.
people from the history. I think that was a bit of a interesting comment from Caduceus.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah, that's a
also a
good point.
moment too, and I can't remember what it was, but Lucian said something, and it might have been when he was saying like, "I don't have any memories," or he was saying something that was very not Molly, and Taliesin was going like, "Nope, nope," like he looked upset. uh,
Yeah.
in like a fun kind of way, but it was very much like
Mm-hmm.
he was going like, "Nope." He wasn't happy with something Lucian said, and it felt like Taliesin, not Caduceus, saying it.
Yeah.
I need to try and find unless anyone can remember that in the episode, but it was.
I
I was like,
remember
"Ooh,
that happening a couple times during the
yeah,
talk where Taliesin was just like, "Ooh, that
yeah,
ain't
yeah,
that
this
ain't
guy."
it, Chief. That
Yeah,
ain't it."
yeah. But that was really cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then my pick for fan
exciting.
art was my more heartbreaking moment for me
Uh
of this episode with
oh, make
Yasha
me sad,
giving
Nico.
the
Oh,
clover to
oh,
Molly. It's sort of
you
like
make me
it was
sad.
like a final farewell to Molly since she couldn't say goodbye to him back when he had
Oh,
first passed away.
I didn't even think of it like
So
that.
it's like she recognizes that Molly might be gone, and so this is her only way of saying goodbye. It's by giving this four-leaf clover back.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's quite. This is why someone needs to talk to her. Someone needs to talk to Yasha right now.
oh man,
Oh,
that's
it's so
lovely art
sad.
though.
It is. It is.
So soft.
Oh, I love it.
Fuck.
I know. It's so hard. But anyways,
Anyway.
back to pain and misery, and just unanswered questions.
Oh my.
Um,
Um.
speaking of, well,
Yep.
maybe unanswered questions. We got a Sabian drop
Yes.
with Sabian being in
Yes.
Darktoe, which is funny because they may have actually run into Sabian if they didn't get banned from Darktoe in 12
It's
hours.
hilarious. Yeah. So good. The fact that they got kicked out within the day.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man. Um yeah, that's super interesting. The fact that he's on. And what did Kotho say? Did Kotho say that she would have more information for them soon, or she would
Yes,
like
because she was saying how like retrieving him was going to be difficult because
yeah
he's in Dark Toe, and so she'll have like
yeah.
more information
Oh,
later.
oh man,
Is
but
this
he's
more
in dark.
information Vandarin related? Maybe. Probably not,
Dark,
but
like it leads to the idea that Sabian is not living that sailor life anymore. That's pirate life for
yeah.
Sabian. Um, yeah, that's
So you think
super
maybe like
interesting.
Sabian was like an inside man for this like ship, and that's why he set off the explosives? Maybe.
I've always kind of
Maybe.
liked the idea that like Sabian was a good guy and that he was
Oh,
sabotaging
oh yeah,
the agent for
yeah.
Ukatoa. Um, but I don't know. We don't know. That's the thing. We have no idea.
Well,
But the exciting
considering,
things they're going to be on the water again, maybe.
yeah, but
And
considering
cool.
considering everything seems to be connected now, I wouldn't be surprised if Sabian was some like long lost like Tomb Takers
Oh
member.
god, I can't go with that. No,
They're
don't
gonna
do
like
that.
run into Sabian and he's gonna have like 9 eye tattoos across his body. It's gonna be like,
Um,
and then Travis is gonna be like, I totally forgot when I wrote when I wrote the character for
yeah, I
Sabian,
gave him
I gave him
tattoos.
eye tattoos. I totally
Yeah,
forgot.
I made him a blood cleric. It's
Yeah,
strange. Um, the oh my goodness, the conversation then also with Jester was really nice between Ford and Jester.
yeah.
Um, and I told you about like how half my note page was one note. It was go back and watch Ashley's face when Ford was saying like he needs to. He said, "Oh, I really want to deal with my past before," and it kind of trails off, and he's just looking at Jester. And Ashley, like, because it feels like he's saying before he can move on with new relationships or before he can get close to other people. And I think
Ah,
that's the kind of what he was suggesting. Um, and Ashley is so adorable because she's like, like she gets really excited. So
yeah,
I go back and watch that scene of just one because it's very cute and it's
yeah.
more kind of uh for Jester kind of shipping, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Ashley's reaction is wonderful in
Yeah,
that scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's probably just like the adorable chemistry that Travis and Laura have. But like whenever
Yeah.
we have like Ford and Jester moments, it just feels so like wholesome and pure
Yeah.
and just so good.
Them racing to fly into the tower, they're both
Yeah,
shouting up at the
yeah.
same time. Yeah,
Oh,
very cute.
it's so
And I
nice.
think because I think we're getting we've talked about it before about like shipping.
Yeah.
We talk about it a lot, but I feel like it's either been established by the group outside, like kind of what they maybe want to um, go after. Because I feel like Travis is leaning towards a relationship with Jester, and I
Mm-hmm.
can see Laura maybe leaning towards a relationship with Ford. Um, because now we're seeing also, I think Caleb pushing further for a relationship with Astrid, or like
Yeah.
he's focusing on that relationship more. Welcome to the shipping section of
Yep.
this
Yeah.
episode.
We
Um,
entered the shipping section.
yeah. So I can that yeah, I feel like because Travis has always said he's not interested in a relationship, um, and Laura's always said she's going to try and get him into a relationship in campaign.
Yeah.
So I could see. I feel like that's what's happening. I feel like they're aiming for a Ford Jester relationship by the end of the campaign,
Mm-hmm.
which leaves Caleb for any other person, for
Yeah.
Astrid or like
And
whatever.
the funny
Or
part
some
is
sadness.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the cast talks about certain things that they want to
Yeah.
accomplish in game, like
Yeah.
outside of the game.
Yeah.
And since obviously Travis and Laura are married, they probably talk almost all the time about, you know,
Yeah.
what they want Ford and Jester to do.
Didn't they say they speak in character voices to each other in their house? Did they say that at a panel one time? Like they just
I wouldn't
walk
be
around the house
surprised if they
talking
did.
as Ford. Yeah. um yeah, so
Because
that's
I
pretty
know in one of the interviews at one of the cons they did, Travis said that Laura will sing in Jester's voice as like a prep for the game. She'll just sing in
yeah.
her voice.
Man.
So there is that. But I feel like we're getting to the point of the campaign with all of these big things happening that maybe smaller subplots like the Sabian thing, the party might have bigger things to address, and they might not
Yeah,
have like time to go in
it's
and deal with things like that unless it leads to like a bigger overarching thing, which it might if Sabian is still connected to Ukatoa somehow. That is, I would think, a relevant enough issue that the Mighty Nine would want to deal with if that information, surfaces.
yeah. The yeah. Um, sorry, I just had a thought, and I'm gonna hold on to it for a second. The talking about that, like the kind of loose threads and everything, it's very much like maybe moving into one shot territory after the
Yeah.
campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Characters are still alive. Yeah, because like Vox Machina was very much they had a singular goal with the occasional branch off. They literally had like from episode like after Thordak, they pretty much had a list of things they had to do, and they just did their list.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they had the occasional side adventure or downtime episode, but it was pretty much this is the things we had to do, and the loose ends were cleared up. I mean, well, one of the loose ends happened in the last 10 minutes of the episode of the final episode, which was Grog,
Yeah.
which spawned two one shots. But at the same time, it was very much like, okay, what loose threads do we have? We've got the like Briarwood sort of thing. Okay, they dealt with that in one shot. We've got Grog trapped in Pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do that in one shot. So I'm wondering if like things like Sabian might be a one shot after this campaign ends. Like, all right, like Mighty Nine return to Dark Toe. It's a
Ooh,
one
yeah.
4 hour one shot, or a 2-part one shot. But yeah, because I can't see if this is as big as we feel it is, this Isle Cross arc, if they'd be like, oh, like incredible, Rudius exploded and the
Oh
Betrayer
my
Gods came
god.
back to realm. Let's go visit Sabian.
Yeah,
like
right.
it
Yeah, exactly. It just
feel the same kind of yeah.
wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
I just had like a tinfoil thought, and we've brought it up before. But because we've talked about the 3 demigods
Yeah.
before. So Ukatoa, Deseret, and Quathog? Quathog? Big worm guy. And Avantika had a tattoo of an eye on her chest. And if there's 9 champions, there would be 9 eyes.
True.
Tattoo. Yeah, it's that whole 9-eye fucking
Yeah.
shit again. I hate it. Quajoff,
So,
thank you.
do you think there's because there's the three avatars, right? Do you think then
Yeah.
there's like a prime avatar that
Well, they were created by Betrayer Gods.
right? Oh, yes.
So I don't know how that would work, but there are the three eyes for each, and
like the 3 avatars they gotta come up again at some point, since they were like a foreshadow episode 1 of this campaign.
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
again, so is Tharizdun. Like Tharizdun hasn't really come up recently either.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe Matt abandoned those plot lines and focused on other things just because it made more sense for the narrative, or do you think he might try to weave them back in somehow?
I don't know.
I know.
Because they were at the mountain pretty much where Deseret is, like the Purple
Yeah.
Phoenix is near Deerstock. What is it? Kamorda. That's pretty much where it is. They've been where Ukatoa is. They are Isocross is where Korja, whatever it is, the worm, I can't pronounce its name, is. Like they haven't come across any other champions either, which is strange. It's only Ukatoa's been a big deal. So I don't know. I don't know. I want to know, but I don't.
I know. There's so much.
Oh my god. That's pretty much all my notes that I wrote. I put video idea turtles.
Yeah, that
Oh,
whole
talk about the
the fight. There was a fight that happened.
Oh my god. They all got taken out.
I
at the start,
know.
except for Jester.
Like,
then
as soon as the combat happened, like, I sort of checked out because it was, like, towards the end of the night, so I was, like, already a little bit tired. And so I just put it up on my second monitor and was just, like, browsing, like, Facebook and, like, YouTube and Reddit and all that stuff. But then when they were rolling their saves, and I heard that they were all failing, and then that they were all stunned, I was like, wait a second. I
It's
need
not
to
good.
pay attention. This is not good.
Not good at all. Polymorph, though, is such a fun spell.
I know.
Oh,
I love Ford's just unfortunate history with the polymorph spell. And turtles specifically.
it became a turtle, bit him, and he couldn't even control the reaction for it to deal damage.
Or it was the bunny, right? Because the bunny also attacked him.
Bunny attack. Yeah. It's like, I love Ford. Ford's such a great character. He is the butt of a lot of jokes. He's kind of the patsy of the group. Like, he's the face, but he's also the patsy because he is the butt of a lot of jokes, which I think is great because Travis plays that really well. So man, it was hilarious when it was just like roll and he's like, natural 20, and Matt's like, seriously? Okay, well, it's going to attack you. And also his role for the encounter. Oh boy. I was really excited for a giant worm fight, but this was also good too. Glitter, the little piece of glitter.
But they had rolled Matt made Travis roll like a D4, was it? And he got a 1.
A D20 for the encounter, and then I think a D8, wasn't it?
I think a D8 was for the first night, and that was for how many bodies they found. And I think for Ford's it was a D4, and he rolled a 1. Or maybe it was a D8, as Genie Pool's saying. But anyways, he rolled a 1 following whatever he rolled. So I'm wondering if he had rolled even more, if there would have been 5 worms.
I think that's like a challenge rating 17 creature.
Oh, wow.
I don't think they could fight 5 of them. One of them could have killed, and almost did, had it not been polymorph. Imagine if none of the spellcasters had saved. It would have been completely different. Man, oh man, it was a fun fight for how short it was, and how eventually it was just a turtle being pushed, spinning on the ice. I was waiting for it to sink into the ice, and a worm up again. But
oh my gosh! Or how he replaced the miniature with what was it, like a
glitter?
Like a glitter, yeah.
I liked at one point Travis is like, because Matt picked it up and Travis is like, oh, I can't even see it anymore. He's like, no, I'm holding it. And Matt and Travis then broke down laughing. But I just love the imagery of Matt holding up a packet of toy turtles, like, I bought a bunch of turtles. Like, is it a turtle or what? Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was very fun. Oh boy. Yeah, good stuff. It was a very fun end to a otherwise kind of stressful episode.
Yes, and you could definitely see it with the giggles that the party was having. They needed that after the stress and depression of earlier in the episode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And the massive arguments that they got into over which place to go.
Oh yeah, that was a lot. Yeah. That was a lot. I kind of zoned out for that a bit.
I tuned out a little bit too because it just seemed kind of pointless.
I also couldn't figure it because I heard their arguments, but at the same time I was like, it was a bit like they're all kind of arguing the same thing. I don't think it really matters when they go to So I think where are they going now? Are they going to A2? Did they decide?
I don't know what they decided, to be honest. I'm not really sure what they ultimately decided to go with. We're gonna find out next episode, I guess. Yeah, they're going to Essek. They're going to Essek now.
Are they?
I think.
Visiting Essek. Okay.
I think that's what they decided to.
Are they flying? I think that's where we left the session. Them flying away.
Yes.
Okay.
That is what it was.
Oh goodness.
I know we already sort of went into it already, but I guess we can bring up our tinfoil hat theories that are going to get us sniped by the Critical Role writing team.
I am 100% on board with it being the Nine Betrayer gods.
I want
Even
it
though
to be that
Rune is
because
involved, Rune
we have been
is
screaming it into
symbol.
the ether that this campaign is going to lead into the second calamity and the Nine Betrayer gods funneling all of their powers into one entity to usher in this new age just sounds so cool to me. And I hope
Yep.
that's the case. Oh,
Yep.
this is too... It's too convenient to have all of these nines, right?
And Matt, like, Travis is like, ooh, how many betrayer gods are there? Are there 8? And Matt's like, let me look it up for you.
Yeah.
You have to know how many there are. Because if he'd be like, oh, there's 9. But he's like, oh, look it up. It's like, interesting. Good one, Matt. Good. Yeah, sure. Look it up.
Yeah. Like you didn't already know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
yeah, each
Lordy.
eye is a boon from a betrayer god. Oh my god.
And then it's going to be totally not that.
I know.
It's just going to be this other entity that we've got
Yep.
no concept of yet.
Which is honestly the more likely case. Like we probably haven't even met whatever this entity is. But it's fun to think about the fact that maybe the betrayer gods are all ganging together to do this whole thing.
Huh. Genie's Pool. I think the Nonagon is the schools of magic. But that doesn't include Dunamitsi. Isn't Dunamitsi the 10th school of magic? Because I think there's 9 schools of magic typically. It's the 9th? Oh, there you go. Could be. 8 typical. Okay. I like that. It's a good theory. So many 9s. Yeah.
I know. Ugh. 9 champions.
Tripping me out too because I'm playing Spider-Man Miles Morales at the moment,
and
there's a character in there developing a video game called the Speed Nonagon. And so every time it's brought up, I'm like, what?
Oh my god, that's the missing piece.
Yeah, it's the video game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that trips me up a little bit every time I hear it.
Imagine, I was thinking about this the other day because I don't know if you're familiar with the game on Steam called Game Dev Tycoon.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, you get to make your own games and stuff. And when I've played it, I've always themed my games after like Critical Role stuff.
Nice.
I just made like a whole bunch of like fantasy role playing games or surrounded the Mighty Nine, and then I would finish it off with like a Critical Role like Exandria like MMO, sort of like World of Warcraft or something, but taking place in Exandria and stuff. Ooh, what if like because obviously many of the members of the cast have voiced characters in World of Warcraft and stuff, and they've created their own a board game company now with the Darrington Press. What if I don't think they would, but what if they dabble into like making like video games and stuff?
I think if there was ever a Critical Role video game, it would be like an 8-bit platform or something.
Probably.
I think maybe. Yeah.
An MMO is pretty grand.
Yeah. It'd be like a Marvel puzzle quest sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
9-bit.
Oh my god.
That's my brain.
All right.
Thinking that doesn't work, but yes, I like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, but anything else? Anything else we missed? Anything else we want to talk about before we...
Cool.
Especially in chat. We haven't been able to keep up on chat too much because we've just been like unloading our own thoughts. So feel free to post your thoughts or maybe questions you have for us that you would like to answer and stuff in chat. Oh boy. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did do Pillars of Eternity too.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Yeah. I could see them like hiring like a studio to produce this game, and not obviously not having them themselves do it.
Sprinkle Undead.
Yes, another. I live for sprinkle moments. I only watch Critical Role for sprinkle moments. That's what it's come to.
I like that. Yeah, Caduceus actually checked, and he's like, it was a valid question. Yeah, it was definitely. Oh, we didn't talk about Caleb going to the.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention that. I feel like because I looked at chat because I wasn't quite sure, and so whenever like something happens, I want like an immediate answer. I'll look at the Twitch chat during the episode. And a lot of people were speculating that he was just like talking to Astrid, like as if she was there with him,
that's what it seemed
which is
like.
probably.
But
the
was
most
talking
likely.
about like a bedroom with like tussled sheets and everything. I was just like, okay, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool. That's exactly what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, FMA, a Telltale game, RIP Telltale Games,
Ooh.
about Box Breaker and Mighty Nine. It would be awesome if that company was still around.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Telltale games.
I know.
Terrible company.
It's like a masterpiece.
But yeah, that'd be cool. Like a Telltale-ish like game, or like a story-based game. Yeah. Oh boy, canon.
It's happening.
Bring it into the world.
Someone. I think Veth invented phones this episode.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, cool.
So, yep. Another one of my favorite running gags of this campaign. Just randomly inventing things. Yasha invented snowboarding.
And hockey, ice hockey today.
Yep. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I said it earlier, but ones are tagging to explain the threshold crest and his request for it from Vox. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I was hoping they might reach out and be like, "Hey," but that might be they might have probably just forgotten about that from the first campaign as well. But I feel like if they would say, "Hey, traveler, have you heard of these threshold crests?" Like he'd be like, "Oh yes, like I got one from this place."
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, I guess with all that being said, unfortunately, we don't have an episode next week. As next week is the week of Thanksgiving, and they'll be taking the week off. So unfortunately, we have to wait 2 weeks to find out, maybe more, see what Essek has been up to, and hopefully our resident hot boy has been all right since the peace talks. But with all that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's episode of the What the Sheep podcast. As always, thank you all so freaking much for joining us for this episode. It's always so much fun to sit around and chat and gush about Critical Role, our shared passion and stuff. It's always so much fun. Thank you for joining us in chat. Thank you for commenting on YouTube and watching on Spotify or Anchor or wherever you may find this podcast. It's so much fun. Alana, do you have any announcements? Anything?
No Hit Dice Heroes this weekend. Next weekend, check it out. So we won't have What the Sheep next week.
Correct.
But we'll have Hit Dice Heroes. So check out Hit Dice Heroes if you want to check out our D&D show. But yeah, that's
we just got into some crazy shit last episode.
It was essentially like Doctor, like you guys get to Port Damali, fuck around in Port Damali. It was amazing.
Yep. We've been in Port Damali for less than 24 hours and we're already running from the cops. It's great.
It was very much a map moment of me kind of picking up my sheets and just tearing them in half. Like, okay, well, I guess we're not getting to that today.
Yeah.
In the best way possible. I love it so much.
It's going to be great. I'm so excited. But that's going to be all for us tonight. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us. Stay safe. There's much to be thankful for. We love you very much. And we will see you all next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.